Kaugnay ng pagpapatupad ng Anti-Distracted Driving Act, makakausap natin si Jason Tulio, staff writer ng motoring magazine na Top Gear Philippines.
Maaari rin po kayong lumahok mga kapuso sa ating diskusyon. Mag-tweet lamang po gamit ang hashtag na AskNTG. Magandang umaga sa iyo, Jason.
Good morning.
Okay, for the record, ano po ang pananaw ng motoring community sa bagong batas na ito? Kayo ba ay pabor o hindi dito sa Anti-Distracted Driving Law?
Well, personally, I'm in favor of the purpose of the law. I don't think anyone disagrees that we shouldn't distract ourselves while driving.
Of course.
If you think about it, when you're driving, you're handling a piece of machinery that's several hundred, minsan several thousand pounds heavy, and you're going at speeds that can be quite fast. So I don't think anyone disagrees that you should, you know, all your attention should be on the road.
Pero yung pagkakasulat doon sa batas, yung mga provision, do you agree with this? Or meron kayong mga provision na hindi kayo sang-ayon?
I think there's still a lot of gray areas that need to be worked out as with any new law. I think, you know, people had issue with what yung tawag sa batas na line of sight. Yung sinasabi po nila na kung saan po pwede ilagay yung telepono o saan pwede ilagay yung dashcam.
So hindi dapat no-obstruct, ano? Tulad ko, tayo lahat naman siguro dito ay nagmamaneho, no?
Right.
Tulad ko, nilalagay ko yung telepono kasi gumagamit tayo ng Waze, di ba? Kailangan makikita natin yung telepono. Wala naman sa line of sight, pero nandun sa cup holder dito sa kaliwa ng manibela. That's allowed in the law.
According to the law, as was told to me by the DOTR Assistant Secretary, ang pwede po, sa likod po ng steering wheel, sa kung saan po yung speedometer, dito po sa center console.
Okay.
Now, like I mentioned, may mga gray areas pa po.
I think we have a photo para mas makita natin kung saan pwede. Ayan.
Yes.
Okay. This came from you, from Top Gear.
Yes.
Yung mga nakabilog ng green, anong ibig sabihin yan? Yan yung mga allowed, dyan pwedeng ilagay yung iyong gadget?
Yes, that's correct. Pag-explain po sa akin ng DOTR Assistant Secretary, you're allowed to place it behind the steering wheel kung saan po yung speedometer.
So behind the steering wheel, okay.
On your center console, in front of your dashboard, but not on top because, as they said, it will obstruct your line of sight. And behind the rear view mirror po, you can place your dash camera.
So hindi pwedeng doon sa mismong salamin, sa likod ng salamin yung dash cam.
Yes,
At saka yung ginagawa ko, inabanggit ko na nilalagay ko doon sa kaliwa ng manubela, mukhang hindi kasama dyan sa mga allowable spots.
So those are the only 3 areas na pwedeng paglagyan ng iyong gadget?
As was relayed to me by the DOTR, yes. Like I said, I think there's still some gray areas. You know, we got a lot of comments from the story that you mentioned na paano ko ilagay dito, paano ko ilagay doon. So, I mean, hopefully that those kinks get ironed out as the law is rolled out.
Okay, may ibang mga nagsasabi kasi alam naman natin uso ngayon yung parang gadget na nakakabit doon sa windshield mo mismo, tapos nakalagay doon yung tapos nandito lang siya sa gilid mo. So parang mas madali nga yung peripheral vision mo, nakikita mo kaagad yung cellphone mo. Hindi rin yun allowed. Kahit na yung kesa magganyan ka, 'di ba? Mas madali yung nandito sa tabi lang.
I think ang argument there is that you know, there could be suddenly a pedestrian or another car coming from that side na possibly ma-obscure yung vision mo because you can't see because the phone's in the way.
So anything on yung sa harap na makakapag-obscure sa iyong line of sight, hindi pwedeng.
With regards to electronic gadgets in this law, yes.
Okay.
Okay, meron din nakalagay dito about making and receiving calls, no? Bawal yun in general except kapag naka-speakerphone and then pwede rin magsuot ng earphone.
Yes, that's correct. Basically, you can still make and receive calls as long as it's hands-free. So, headset, speakerphone, or naka-Bluetooth sa speakers ng kotse mo.
Okay.
What's not allowed is for you to actually go through your phone, search your contacts, and call while you're driving.
Pero hindi mo maririnig yung busina kapag naka-earphones ka.
I agree with that, actually, yes. For me, I would support the use of those headsets na nasa isang tenga lang. So that, you know, you still have one ear devoted to the road, one ear devoted to your phone. Having said that, I think it's still better if speakerphone because it's no different to having a passenger next to you.
Yeah.
At saka linawin lang natin, pwede pang gumamit ng mga navigational apps tulad ng Waze. So.
Yes, sir, that's correct. There's been a common misconception going around na bawal na po yung Waze, bawal na po yung Google Maps, and that's not true.
Okay.
You can actually still use them as long as before you leave, before you take off, you set your destination, and you set your map to go, and then you drive, and then you don't touch don't take your hands off the wheel to touch your phone along the way.
So ibig sabihin yung mga nagde-drive ng Uber, ng Grab, they heavy Waze users yung mga yan, pwede pa rin hindi maapektuhan yung kanilang negosyo.
Well, at the end of the day, like I mentioned, the purpose of the act is increased safety because when you're driving, your attention really needs to be fully on the road. Now, I understand that, syempre, they need to use these apps to be able to do their business. They need to check their maps, they need to start their trips. The law doesn't prohibit them from using these apps. It's simply asking them to pull over to a safe place where they're not obstructing traffic. Then they can make the changes they need to make, and then they can go.
So ano yung pinaka hindi kayo sang-ayon doon? Sabi mo, in principle, sang-ayon kayo, pero ano yung sabi niyong gray areas na dapat pa i-fine-tune?
Well, from an enforcement point of view, I think it's quite difficult actually for the government to say, eto pwede, eto bawal, because there are a lot of gray areas.
Right.
We got a lot of comments like Sir Howie said, I placed mine in a cup holder, hindi pa pwede yun, and things like that. So I think, again, in principle, I agree, but hopefully these kinks get worked out along the way, because it's also a judgment call on the part of the enforcer if they pull you over to deem if nakaharang ba siya o hindi.
Okay, isang pahabol na tanong, no? So hindi lang motor vehicles yung covered nito, nabasa ko itong batas, pati bicycles.
Tricycles, kalesa, anything that's moving, I suppose.
Di naman dapat siguro nag-detect habang nagbibisikleta.
Even tractors on public roads actually
mga kuliglig.
Yeah. So, well, as long as you're on a public road, you're sharing a space with everyone else. And, it's when you're behind the wheel of a bicycle or a car, it's really up to you. You have a responsibility to be responsible. So that goes for everyone. Safety comes first, and your focus needs to be on your driving on the road.
All right. And with that, maraming salamat po, Jason Tulio, online staff writer ng Top Gear Philippines. Thank you, sir, for your time.
Thank you.
Salamat
Thank you
po.
so much.